I am Emily Hayes, 35, an interior designer who clawed her way from nothing to a loft in Denver's Rhino district. Every exposed brick, every custom light fixture, every quiet morning with coffee and the distant hum of the city is mine. I earned it. I fought for it. And I never thought my own blood would try to take it from me. Growing up in Boulder, I was the older daughter who never quite fit the picture my parents painted. Mom and Dad, Robert and Patricia, worked long hours at their small accounting firm, so Grandma raised me in her little house on Mapleton Hill. She taught me to see beauty in old things, the way light hits a worn oak table, the comfort of a handmade quilt. She was my anchor. When Megan came along, everything tilted. She was the baby, the spark, the one who made Mom and Dad laugh until their sides hurt. I loved her. God, I loved her. We built snow forts in winter, chased fireflies in summer. I thought we'd always be each other's safe place. But even then, the cracks showed. Megan got the new dresses, the dance lessons, the praise for every small thing. I got "You're strong, Emily. You don't need all that." When Grandma died, I was 12. The grief hit like a freight train. Mom and Dad barely noticed. They were planning Megan's 13th birthday with a bounce house and a pony. I got a card and a "she's in a better place." I learned early that my pain was inconvenient. High school was survival. I threw myself into art, sketching room layouts in the margins of my notebooks. I saved every penny from babysitting and summer jobs. When I got into design school in Denver, my parents didn't help. They were too busy paying for Megan's private college and her semester in Italy. I worked 2 jobs, took out loans, and graduated with honors. They didn't come to the ceremony. Megan's graduation party was bigger. After school, I hustled. Freelance gigs, late nights, mood boards until my eyes burned. 5 years ago, I found the loft, a rundown warehouse space in Rhino. I bought it with every cent I'd saved and turned it into something breathtaking. Hardwood floors, I refinished myself. Floor-to-ceiling windows. A kitchen that felt like a hug. It was worth almost $500,000 now. My sanctuary. My proof that I could build something solid when no one else believed I could. Megan's life looked perfect from the outside. She married young, had Jackson and Olivia, posted pictures of family vacations. But behind the filter, things cracked. Her boutique failed. Her marriage ended. She was left with 2 kids, a mountain of debt, and an apartment she could barely afford. Mom and Dad bailed her out again and again: rent, groceries, school supplies. I offered to help her find a job, connect her with resources. They wanted cash. I said no. The guilt gnawed at me, but I couldn't keep pouring from an empty cup. Then came the day everything shattered. They called a family meeting at my loft. I thought maybe they wanted to reconnect. I cleaned for hours, set out coffee.
Les candles.
When they arrived, Mom with her casserole, Dad with his stern face, Megan with the kids, something felt wrong. Jackson and Olivia ran straight to my couch, jumping on it like it was a trampoline. Megan smiled like she already belonged. Dad cleared his throat. "Emily, we've been talking. Megan and the kids need stability. We think you should let her have this place." The words landed like a slap. My heart slammed against my ribs. I looked at Mom. She nodded, eyes soft with pity. "It's for the grandkids, honey. They deserve better." Megan sipped her coffee, calm as if we were discussing the weather. "It's perfect for them.
Eminência.
Good schools, space to play." I felt the room spin. This was my home. My blood, sweat, tears. And they were asking me to hand it over like it was nothing.
Inside.
A storm raged.
How dare they?
After everything I'd done alone? After they'd never once said, "I'm proud of you"? I wanted to scream, to throw them out. But the kids were watching. So I swallowed the fire and said, "This is my home. I built it. Why can't Megan figure things out like I did?" Dad's jaw tightened. Family helps family.
You're fine.
She's struggling, Mom added. You can find another place. The words echoed every time they'd chosen her over me. I felt small again. Invisible. Jackson grabbed a marker and started drawing on my wall, bright blue streaks across the white paint I'd chosen so carefully. Megan shrugged. Kids will be kids. I took the marker gently, but the damage was done. My sanctuary felt violated. After they left, I stood in the silence, staring at the mark. My chest ached. I scrubbed until my hands bled, but the stain stayed, just like the hurt. That night, I sat on the floor, back against the wall, and cried for the first time in years. Not just for the loft. For the little girl who'd spent her life trying to be enough. But something else burned beneath the pain. Megan's calm certainty. She wasn't desperate. She was entitled. I wasn't giving up. Not yet. The days after that meeting were hell. Megan started showing up unannounced. Kids in tow. Like she was already moving in. Toys on my floor. Juice on my rugs. Once, Olivia knocked over a vase I'd restored by hand. Megan laughed. It's just stuff.
Eminencia.
I changed the locks. She got angry. We're family. Why are you shutting me out? I didn't answer. I couldn't. Every time she left, I felt my home shrink. Then I found the card. A realtor's business card on my coffee table. Heather Mills, Denver properties specialist. My stomach dropped. I called her, pretending to be a potential seller. She confirmed Megan had asked for an appraisal. She said it was a family decision. I hung up, shaking. This wasn't about the kids needing a home. This was about Megan wanting cash.
Fast.
The betrayal cut deeper than I expected. I needed someone who'd see the truth. Aunt Claire, Mom's sister, had always been the one who called things as she saw them. I met her at a cafe in Lodo. I told her everything. She listened, face hardening. Then she said, "You know Grandma left you something, right?" I froze. Grandma's will had been simple, a small trust fund, split between me and Megan. But when Grandma died, Mom and Dad said the money was gone. They never explained. Claire's voice was low. Megan convinced them you didn't need it. Said you were strong, independent. They gave her the whole thing. She blew it on a trip and a car. I felt sick.
$22.
My share.
Stolen.
I left the cafe numb. Back home, I sat in the dark, replaying every time I'd been pushed aside. The anger was hot, sharp,
Alive.
I wanted to confront them all. But I knew Megan would cry, twist the story, make me the villain. I needed proof. Protection. I called Ryan Cole, a colleague who knew property law. We met at his office. I told him everything. He listened, then said, "We can protect it. Put the loft in an irrevocable trust. You stay in control, but it's shielded from claims." I hesitated. Trust sounded final.
Permanent.
But Ryan was calm. You've built this life. Don't let them take it. We worked with a lawyer, Sarah Klein. Within days, The loft was in a trust, Ryan and Sarah as co-trustees. Untouchable. Now I had armor. But the real fight was coming. I invited them to dinner at a quiet spot in Rhino. Neutral ground. I rehearsed for hours. Heart pounding. This wasn't just about the loft. It was about every time I'd been made to feel less. They arrived together. Mom looked worried. Dad tense. Megan confident. Almost smug. We ordered. Small talk died fast. I took a breath. I know what you're doing. Megan. You had my loft appraised. You want to sell it. Her face froze. That's not. I slid the report across the table. You're in debt.
Badly.
You thought you could take my home to fix it. Dad's voice was sharp. Emily. What is this? I turned to him. She's been using you. Just like she used Grandma's inheritance. The money meant for both of us. She took my share. Mom's eyes filled. We thought you didn't need it. Megan's voice rose. You're twisting everything. I was young. I needed help. I looked at her. You still do. But not by stealing from me. The air was thick. Mom reached for my hand. I pulled away. I laid the trust documents on the table. The loft is protected now. You can't touch it. Megan's face twisted. You're selfish. What about my kids? I leaned in. Your kids deserve a mother who fights for them honestly. Not one who takes from her sister.
Dad tried to speak.
I shook my head. I've spent my life making room for everyone else. I'm done. I stood. I love you. But I can't keep hurting myself to keep you happy. I walked out. The night air hit my face like a release.
Inside.
I was breaking. But I was also free. The silence after that dinner was deafening. Mom called. Dad texted. Megan sent one message. You're ruining everything. I didn't respond. I couldn't. The hurt was too raw. But the guilt crept in at night. Jackson and Olivia hadn't asked for any of this. I thought of their faces. Their laughter. I wondered if I'd gone too far. A week later, Aunt Claire called. Your parents are shaken. They're asking questions. Megan's story isn't holding up. I didn't know whether to feel relieved or sad. Then Mom showed up at my loft. Alone. She looked smaller. Tired. I let her in. We sat on the couch. She stared at the floor. I'm sorry, she said. I didn't see it. I thought I was helping Megan. I thought you were okay. I swallowed. I wasn't okay. I was just quiet.
She cried.
I failed you. The words hung between us. I wanted to comfort her. But the years of silence were heavy. I don't want to lose you, she said. But I understand if you need space. I nodded.
Ido.
For now. She left. I sat there, tears falling. The anger was still there, but beneath it was grief. For what we could have been. Megan didn't reach out. I heard through Claire that she'd lost her apartment. She and the kids moved in with Mom and Dad temporarily. She took a job at a coffee shop. It wasn't glamorous, but it was something. I kept working. My career was thriving. New clients. Big projects. But the loft felt empty. I missed the noise of family, even the painful kind. One evening, I found an old photo of me and Megan as kids, arms around each other, smiling. I cried until I couldn't breathe. I realized I didn't want revenge. I wanted healing. I called Sarah Klein. Is there a way to help Megan without giving up the loft? She thought. You could set up a small trust for the kids' education. Or offer a low-interest loan. But only if she agrees to counseling. I like that. Boundaries. Help. Not sacrifice. I asked Mom to arrange a meeting. Just me and Megan. She came alone. Nervous. Eyes red. We sat at a park near Rhino. Kids playing in the distance. I spoke first. I'm not giving you the loft. But I don't want you to suffer. She looked surprised. I'll help with a loan for a fresh start. But you have to get help.
Therapy.
Financial counseling. And you have to respect my boundaries. She stared at me. Then she cried.
I'm sorry. Eminencia.
I was scared. I thought I had no choice. I believed her. For the first time, we talked for hours. About Grandma. About the money.
About the years we lost.
She admitted she'd felt entitled. That she'd used the kids as leverage without realizing how much it hurt me. I admitted I'd built walls so high I couldn't see over them. We didn't hug. Not yet. But something shifted. I set up the loan. She started therapy. Slowly. She rebuilt. Mom and Dad apologized. Repeatedly. They started seeing me, really seeing me. It wasn't perfect. Trust takes time. But the loft was still mine.
And now,
it felt bigger. Months passed. The loft was repainted. The stains gone. My heart still ached, but less sharply. Megan was working. The kids were in school. She sent me pictures of Jackson's soccer games. Olivia's drawings. I responded. Small steps. One day, she asked to meet. Just coffee. We sat outside a cafe. She looked different. Calmer. Less desperate. I got a promotion, she said. And I'm saving. For the first time, I smiled. I'm proud of you. She looked down. I don't deserve that. Not after everything. I reached across the table. You're trying. That matters.
We talked about the past.
The favoritism. The way it had hurt us both. She'd felt pressure to be perfect. I'd felt pressure to disappear. I always envied you, she said. You were strong. You didn't need anyone. I laughed softly. I needed you. I just didn't know how to say it. We sat in silence. The sun warm. The city alive. She said, "Thank you for not giving up on me." I nodded. "Thank you for not giving up on yourself." It wasn't forgiveness in a single moment. It was a beginning. Mom and Dad visited. They brought dinner. We ate in my kitchen.
Laughed.
It felt strange. Good strange. Dad said, "We were wrong. We see that now." I believed him. The loft was no longer just walls and furniture. It was a place where healing happened. I still worked hard. Still designed spaces that told stories.
But now,
I let people in. Friends. Family.
Slowly.
I learned that love doesn't mean giving everything away. It means holding space for yourself and others. Megan and I weren't best friends again.
Not yet.
But we were sisters. Real sisters. And that was enough. Looking back, I see how close I came to losing everything. Not just the loft, but myself. The anger had been a shield. Necessary, but heavy.
Now,
I sit on my balcony, watching the sun set over the Rockies. The city lights flicker on. I think of Grandma. She'd be proud. Megan calls sometimes. We talk about the kids, about work, about life. She's dating someone new. She's careful. I'm happy for her. Mom and Dad come over for dinner once a month. We talk. Really talk. They ask about my work. They listen. I still have boundaries. The loft is mine. The trust is still there. But now it feels like protection, not a weapon. I've learned that family can hurt you the most, but they can also heal you if you let them. The lesson is simple. Protect your peace. Set boundaries. But leave room for grace. Because sometimes, the hardest thing isn't walking away. It's walking back. I don't regret the fight. It saved me. And in saving myself, I saved us.